In southwest Sao Paulo, the city does not gradually change. It can change across a wall, a gate, a slope, or the width of a road. On one side, dense brick homes rise through Paraisópolis, layered with rooftop water tanks, shops, workshops, schools, and narrow passages. Close beside them, Morumbi presents guarded entrances, landscaped compounds, private pools, stone facades, and some of Brazil's most valuable real estate. The distance is measured in meters. The difference is measured in access, security, infrastructure, and time. This is not the story of two separate cities. It is the story of how one metropolis built two worlds side by side. The contrast is often summarized by a viral claim. A mansion and a favela share the same postal code. The phrase is memorable, but the geography is more complicated. Paraisópolis contains multiple postal codes, while broader postal references cover sections of Vila Sônia and Morumbi. The proximity is real, the simplified address is not. And that correction does not weaken the story. It reveals something more important. Urban inequality does not require a perfect caption. It is already written into streets, property lines, walls, transport routes, water systems, and the unequal protection offered by the same city. To understand how this landscape formed, the story must move backward. Sao Paulo's transformation accelerated through coffee wealth, railways, industrialization, migration, and the concentration of jobs and institutions. During the 20th century, millions of people arrived from other regions of Brazil and from abroad. Factories expanded, services multiplied, and construction spread outward and upward. The metropolis generated opportunity at extraordinary speed. Formal housing, sanitation, transport, and legal access to land did not expand with the same consistency. Workers needed to remain close enough to the economy that depended on them. Even when the formal housing market placed that proximity beyond reach. Morumbi developed through a low-density and increasingly exclusive urban logic. Large parcels, private clubs, institutional campuses, luxury houses, apartment towers, and gated properties turned the district into a symbol of elite Sao Paulo. The steep terrain offered views and separation. Real estate marketing sold greenery, privacy, controlled entrances, and status. Roads favored cars. Buildings withdrew behind walls and setbacks. Yet the area was never self-sufficient. Its homes, condominiums, offices, hospitals, schools, and restaurants depended on domestic workers, gardeners, drivers, security staff, cleaners, builders, maintenance crews, and delivery riders. Wealth created demand for labor without guaranteeing affordable housing nearby. Paraisópolis emerged from land that had been subdivided long before it became one of Brazil's best-known urban communities. Formal development did not unfold as originally planned. Families occupied plots, adapted the terrain, and built according to urgent need and limited resources. Growth accelerated during decades when Sao Paulo attracted workers faster than public policy or the formal market could house them. A room became a house. A house received another floor. A path became a passage. A passage became a commercial street. Exposed reinforcement bars were not signs of an unfinished story. They often marked the possibility of a future level when money became available. The result appears improvised from a distance, but daily life depends on complex organization. Paraisópolis contains shops, workshops, schools, religious spaces, health services, cultural projects, restaurants, small factories, media initiatives, and thousands of formal and informal businesses. The 2022 Brazilian census counted 58,527 residents. Other estimates have differed because boundaries, addresses, additions, and dwellings in rapidly changing settlements are difficult to measure with perfect precision. The numbers matter, but they cannot fully explain the density of relationships, work, commerce, and adaptation contained within the neighborhood. Look closely at the materials, and the city begins to explain itself. Rooftop water tanks respond to inconsistent supply and pressure. Bundled cables record layers of connection, adaptation, and later regularization. Steep stairways expose a topography that flat maps conceal. Ground floors become bakeries, salons, pharmacies, repair shops, clothing workshops, and delivery points. Upper floors hold families, rental rooms, terraces, and new construction. Change does not arrive through one master plan. It is assembled through thousands of decisions made by residents, builders, associations, businesses, and public agencies over many years. But the most revealing movement happens every morning. The supposed border is crossed in both directions. Residents leave Paraisópolis for apartments, schools, hospitals, offices, restaurants, construction sites, and private homes. Goods enter through vans, motorcycles, wholesalers, and local retailers. Students, patients, customers, workers, and service providers move through the same roads at different speeds and under different conditions. The surrounding affluent districts rely on labor that often comes from places where housing was built outside the formal systems wealthier neighborhoods take for granted. The closeness is not an accident. It is part of how the metropolitan economy functions. One private property has become an especially powerful symbol, the Safra Mansion. Built in the 1990s for the Safra banking family, it has been described in public reports as one of the world's largest private residences, with approximately 117,000 square feet, about 10,900 square meters, around 130 rooms, and a private helipad. Its design has been associated with the palaces of Roman nobility. Yet the residence is intensely private, and reliable public images of its interior remain scarce. Its significance here lies less in decorative detail than in scale, enclosure, and the meaning of an almost invisible private palace inside a metropolis under immense housing pressure. That privacy creates a paradox. One of the largest homes in the world can remain difficult to see, screened by distance, vegetation, walls, security, and restricted access. The dense roofs of Paraisópolis, by contrast, are repeatedly exposed to cameras from surrounding viewpoints. One landscape controls its visibility. The other is often viewed from outside and converted into a symbol. A responsible documentary must recognize that imbalance. Residents are not background scenery for a story about wealth. The community is a living part of the city, with its own institutions, histories, conflicts, achievements, and right to representation. The best-known image associated with this contrast was made by Brazilian photographer Tuca Vieira in 2004. It placed the dense-built fabric of Paraisópolis beside a luxury residential building with private pools and sports facilities. The photograph became an international symbol of inequality and later appeared in the context of a major Tate Modern exhibition. But the building in that image is not the Safra Mansion. It is the Condomínio Edifício Penthouse, a luxury apartment building. The distinction matters. Confusing the two replaces investigation with mythology and weakens the very question the photograph forces the viewer to confront. Vieira's photograph became powerful because a telephoto lens compressed an enormous social structure into one frame. Brick, balconies, recreational space, roofs, and swimming pools appeared almost to touch. But a photograph is not the whole city. Beyond its edges are bus stops, schools, drainage channels, property records, real estate values, public health systems, policing, credit, legal status, and routes to work. The image reveals the border. History explains how the border was constructed. And once that history is visible, the contrast can no longer be dismissed as a visual coincidence. Some borders are obvious: concrete walls, guarded gates, fences, steep roads, narrow sidewalks, or sudden changes in paving. Others are measured in time. How many transfers separate a worker from a job? How quickly can an ambulance enter a narrow street? Who can depend on stable water pressure, legal property documents, insurance, credit, or rapid emergency access? Two households may stand less than a kilometer apart and still occupy completely different systems of risk and protection. The city is geographically shared, but its guarantees are not. Public intervention has altered parts of Paraisópolis through road improvements, drainage, sanitation, housing projects, and social programs. Community organizations have also built responses where official services were absent, delayed, or insufficient. Yet improvement contains its own tension. A paved road can improve access and raise land values. New infrastructure can reduce risk while increasing pressure on families without secure tenure. Connection is necessary, but it is never neutral. Every intervention changes who can remain, who benefits, and how the neighborhood is perceived by the rest of the city. The pattern extends far beyond São Paulo. Mumbai, Cape Town, Manila, Rio de Janeiro, Johannesburg, and many other global cities place high-value districts beside informal or historically excluded communities. Architecture, climate, law, and local history change from place to place. The recurring mechanism is more consistent. Wealth and labor require proximity, while housing markets, public systems, and land policy distribute space, safety, mobility, and visibility unevenly. These landscapes are not simply evidence that cities failed to grow. They show that cities often grew according to priorities that protected some forms of life more completely than others. The central question, then, is not whether a palace and a community share a postal code. It is how a metropolis produced such different conditions inside the same urban horizon, and why those conditions persist. Paraisópolis is not merely the opposite of the Safra Mansion. Morumbi is not an isolated island. The two territories are connected through work, roads, services, commerce, history, and dependence. The border is real, but it is not natural. It was built through land values, policy choices, private investment, migration, exclusion, adaptation, and decades of unequal access. Maps can show parcels, streets, districts, and official boundaries. They rarely show who waits longer, who climbs farther, who moves through a service entrance, who builds without conventional financing, or whose neighborhood becomes a global symbol photographed from above. The true atlas of São Paulo is written in those differences. Two worlds stand side by side not because the city forgot to separate them, but because the city learned to function through their proximity. The distance between them cannot be measured only in meters. It must also be measured in the systems the city built, and in the lives those systems continue to shape.